Well, hello, model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Raul, and this week I'm working on my 71 Dodge Demon here, the MPC kit, which I got right over here. Here's the box art for those that haven't seen it. I'm sure many of you have, as highly anticipated as this kit is. And it's pretty easy to build, pretty straightforward, a lot of fun. I did a couple of tweaks to mine a little bit here, but nothing major, mostly right out of the box, but just having some fun with it and going to town on it, basically. A bunch of the decals with a lot of leftover decals, but the aftermarket decals I was using as well, which I did a video on that, so showed my challenge I had with that. But here it is. It's just about finished in the citron yellow, light green color. So, which I actually love. This is quite an interesting color, and it's really making this thing stand out, especially with all the black trim and everything. So really liking how this came out. I was kind of curious at first and, didn't really know how this color was going to come out. And to me, it looks a bit more lime green than I was expecting. But it's looking great, and I'm really excited to see how this thing goes together. But it's getting there. But before I get that far, because I'm almost there, and I figured I would show you some of the details and some of the stuff in this before I get it completed. Because there was a lot of simple things, but I get it all together, you're not going to see all of this stuff. Like, here's the interior. There's not a whole lot to the Demon interior, and from what I'm looking at, there's a couple of different interior packages that I've seen, so it doesn't seem to be all that accurate compared to reference cars I was looking at. But got it together and really like the console in this, even though the console is super rare. And this being a console 4-speed, I couldn't find any factory 4-speed console cars online. You could find automatic ones, and I guess there's a big controversy on whether or not that was actually made. So I was kind of sucked into that research for a little bit, finding that interesting. But there's one or two cars that have it, but it's said that they're not actual factory cars, like that was done to the car. So kind of interesting is, whether or not there's any factory documented consoles. So for 4-speeds, but I was having some fun with it. So it came out nice. I did the brush painting for the wood there, which that's really the only wood in the thing. There really isn't any wood on the door panels on this one. I've seen some that did, some that didn't. Oh, and here's the decal, little Demon decal that's on the decal sheet, which it's right here. They give you a bunch of them. There's another 2 of them, which is great. I'll use them on one of my other ones. But yeah, it gives you 2 sets. But mine weren't registered very well. But put them in there. The instructions don't tell you to put them there or anything, but reference photos I saw them. But I used the Molotow pen, the chrome pen, for all the chrome on the door panels there. Both sides, of course, and the whole console. So it gives you that look. That's right here, Molotow. Those of you guys know about it, the liquid chrome pen. Pretty cool stuff. Definitely using it a lot on interiors myself, so that's a bit of a game changer for me. Got the seats glued in, everything done into semi-gloss black, but these seats are a little narrow and thin, so they kind of look a little small in this interior tub. But that's just me, maybe. But still nice seats and everything. They just seem, when you look at this, it makes it look like the interior is huge, but it's not. I mean, that's kind of funny. And then I showed that I painted the underside, the citron yellow, but that's because you can see it through the chassis when this is put together. You can see it. Otherwise, if you don't, if you don't paint this, it's gonna be seen through here. But that's if you decide to black it all out or anything like that. But there's most of the interior. And of course, here's the dash with the tough wheel and more of the Molotow chrome pen. I did use the gauge decals. It comes with the full decal or just the gauges by themselves. I used the gauges by themselves and trimmed them. I had a heck of a time getting the setting solution in there and getting them to lay down. These decals really don't seem to conform very well. But the rest of it's all paint, and then the gauges over here, the radio and those 2. And so there's 6 decals in here. There's another gauge right above the steering column. But if I tilt it this way, you can't see it. but you can see it there if I do that. But she's real happy with the way this is looking. So this is ready to go together and go in. So I can paint some of that. And then while I was at it too, here's the mirrors I added from the 71 Duster kit so that they're the same color. There's more of the chrome paint right there because there's nothing there. You can use foil. I use the chrome paint, but these are ready to glue in place on the body. So there's those. Chassis is pretty much done. I've shown most of this before in the other video, but you know, just a little bit more detail painting. Got the red on the crack of the 344 barrel decal. It split on me trying to get it to lay down. And you know, the rest of it, I've shown this already, but together. But I did finish the wheels, got them detailed to my liking. Now, 71s would have a dark argent cap, and then 70s have the lighter argent cap. So I painted these, I used gray, you know, because it looks really good to me. And then aluminum I used on the center section. You know, the real car is more like an argent silver and a dark argent silver. But, and then the spokes are kind of open to see right through the wheel. And then I used my toothpick to get the paint off of the center there to give the chrome ring. And then where I got on the lug nuts, I used my toothpick also to knock the paint off the lug nuts. So that's all the kit chrome showing there. And, you know, of course, do all 4 of them. So it's a little time consuming. You do 4 times, but they came out great. I really like the way these came out. So detail is pretty nice. I did the over restored underside, of course, but that's, you know, my personal preference. But it kind of, when I do that, it makes it look better than it actually is when you realize, you know, how basic this is and a bunch of missing suspension. But, you know, the detail painting, you know, draws it out, but makes it not so obvious. Now, also, the body, which, you know, I'm pretty much done with. Again, I really like this, this Citron Yellow, which is this lime green color. Pretty, you know, the more I get, you know, look at it, then with the black accents and everything, I really like this color. It really came out. I was a little hesitant at first, and when it comes to the Mopar colors, you know, I've never really given this one too much thought, although, you know, it looks a bit more yellow in some photos than it actually is. But I do need to clean some fingerprints off of it. Got the stoplight red on here, and then the turn signal amber on the front, and then detailed up the grill. The grill, really careful detail painting. I airbrushed it, you know, semi-gloss black. Then I carefully put the aluminum paint on it, and I put bare metal foil on the turn signals and put the amber on top of it. They're really more of a clear lens with an amber bulb, but I kind of like this better. And then the headlights in there have bare metal foil behind them and glued in place, so they give you that look. But just carefully painting all of that and then painting the top aluminum, which is kind of how I saw my reference photos. But that's all. They even painted the bump stops on the bottom of the hood there. So just some detail painting. You know, all the foil's done, all the glasses in there. Taillights look good, and you know, look at the light when they hit those taillights. Now they're a little odd to put in there, so I'll flip it over so you can see them in there. So they're a little odd. They've got these recesses, and they pretty much only go in one way, but it doesn't appear that the lenses actually go into the holes very well. I let them just kind of sit right on top, and it made it kind of odd to glue. But the foil makes it a bit more reflective, so the light reflects through it, makes them pop a little better. So I really like the way they came out. So, you know, even though they seem kind of odd and weren't really going to fit right, but they came out nice. I got to put a little bit of a chrome dot on the trunk lock cylinder, the door lock cylinders I need to do, and then of course the Mark of Excellence badge right here. Got to do that too. So a couple of little things left to do, but this body's pretty much ready. Got to glue the mirrors on. Inside rearview mirror is in there, all the glass is in there. So it's ready for the interior to get glued in and the chassis glued in. All the fronts glued together. So it's just got the license plate and a few parts left to do. But she's coming along great. But yeah, she'll be done in no time. So next time you see this, it's going to be finished. So I've got a couple of little things left to do. Like I did touch up the red where it cracked there, and then the battery as far as the battery caps for that. And just, you know, a few things here and there. But it's pretty much ready. So the next time you see this, this is going to be done. And I've had a really good time doing it. And a couple more of the decals I got to put on here, which all the decals really aren't called out. You get a ton of decals, but they really don't explain in the directions where they all go. And they're not numbered either, so it's a little confusing. So a little bit surprising in that respect. But anyway, you guys, having some fun with this and looking forward to seeing what this thing's going to look like all buttoned up here. But you'll see that in the next episode. But you guys, thank you for tuning in and subscribing and all your comments and everything. I really do appreciate it, you guys. And you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time.